Welcome you all for today's demo. Today we will be going to talk about Cisco SD-WAN. Okay. And I hope you guys are already working in it. If not, that's already good. Probably we would be providing you all the overview and how SD-WAN work, including the lab portion step by step. But before starting, let us talk about the Cisco SD-WAN. Okay, just give me a minute, please. Okay, I hope I am audible, right?
Yes, sir.
So what I was talking about SD-WAN solution. SD-WAN is something which is a common or general terminology. It does not belong with the Cisco. SD-WAN means software defined WAN. WAN is our terminology, which is the legacy one, wide area network. Okay. But in this SD-WAN, there are lot of players. If we talk about VMware are providing their solution for the SD-WAN, which is named as Velo Cloud. If we talk about HP or HPE currently, Hewlett Packard Enterprise, it provides a SD-WAN solution that is named as Silver Peak. Similarly, Fortinet solution is there. Similarly, Citrix solution is there. Versa solution is there. Juniper solution is there. Barracuda solution is there. And there are a lot of vendors which are providing SD-WAN as a solution in current terminology. But Cisco is the one which is the leading one. Let me tell you, if we talk about Cisco, this solution formerly named was Viptela SD-WAN. Viptela SD-WAN. But this particular company was acquired by Cisco in 2017. And the new name for this particular SD-WAN solution is now as Cisco SD-WAN. So today we will be going to talk about Cisco SD-WAN, which was earlier deployed and created by Viptela. Viptela was another organization. I hope so far everybody is on same page. Okay. So in today's demo, I will provide an overview of many of the features and the capability of Cisco SD-WAN solution powered by Viptela, including the lab also. I would show you how to, create the lab, how it looks like. So I would be going to provide you all of those details step by step. Don't worry. So this is your first slide, that is Cisco SD-WAN. I hope everyone is on the same page. Let's proceed. Next slide is talking about why we need SD-WAN. So if I will ask this question, that why we required SD-WAN, for the same, we need to understand that how the business is developing. If we talk about current business requirement, it is really transforming towards the digitalization. It is rapidly adopting your new technologies. And when such new technologies are coming, in the picture, then we require productivity to be get increased and costs should be reduced. Transformation with respect to the customer experience should be high. So these are the basic fundamentals of any of the business. See, we are supporting IT. And when we are saying that we are supporting IT, it doesn't mean that IT is the original business. Original business can be pharmaceutical. So there is a pharma company, let us say GSK, and we are providing the IT solution for the GSK. But actual business is what? actual business is pharma. Similarly, it can be oiling, it can be mining, it can be n number of things where actual business is something else, but we are providing only IT support. Within the IT support, there can be n number of things. It can be a data center technologies. In data center, it can be IPS, IDS, it can be firewall, it can be WAF, it can be load balancer, it can be any number of solutions. But even within the IT, we are talking about WAN. And since the WAN is emerging to the SD-WAN, I would be gonna talk about SD-WAN here. So traditional role of wide area network WAN was to connect what? The users. So earlier business was very simple. What happened is you have one of the major site, or we can say there is a DC. Okay, very specific I am talking about. In the DC, there are some application servers. Okay, and the users from different locations. User from this location, user from this location, either it is a branch location or the campus location, will go to the data center to access their application. Even if they wanted to use the internet breakout, their traffic will go to the data center, and from the data center, it will use the direct internet access. But now it is whole story is getting changed. Okay, we don't require the dedicated MPLS circuits to ensure the security and the reliability of this connectivity. It does not longer work in digital world, where applications are moving out of the data center. Now they are not residing in the data center only. They are moving out of the data center and going towards the cloud. And since all the applications are going into the cloud, either they are adopting IaaS or SaaS as the solution. That is a different story. So in the cloud, we have different, maybe you can say, we can use different schemas. IaaS is infrastructure as a service. SaaS is software as a service. So we can adopt a lot of business critical application experience depending upon the different services provided over the cloud. Now, our traffic from the branch location or from the campus location should be going to the cloud directly. Instead, it is going to the data center, and from there and from the data center, it is going, putting up some another path. That is not a good way. So it is the second issues. Then if I will talk about our traditional approach, in our traditional approach, we have core layer. Okay. Then we have distribution layer and access layer. So usually what happened is in the core layer, let us say we have some of the routers. On the distribution, we have high end of the switches. On the access layer, we can have the switches which are actually connected with the users or the servers directly. Okay. So that is how our basic network was designed earlier. But nowadays, it doesn't work. So there should be a firewall. A pair of firewall here. Why it doesn't work? Because let us say you wanted to take the connectivity of these core devices. You need to log in over there through the SSH or howsoever, okay, individually. This increasing the operational cost very much. Operational cost is very high. What SD-WAN is doing? SD-WAN, instead of going to individual device, is providing you a central management. Central management. That central management is brought up by using of something named as controllers. And this controller is named as vManage. So vManage is a controller which now taking all the central management of all the device. It means if I need to go to the device number 1, I can just do it from the controller. I need to go to the device number 10. I can just go to the controller and it will be gonna push the configuration or whatever thing we need to do. It will be gonna do from the controller itself, which means in traditional WAN network, it was heavily rely on the individual devices. But currently, that approach is no more longer required because we have something, a centralized approach to manage the whole network, which abstract the underlying network infrastructure. How? Let me tell you in the lab. But one more problem I would like to just describe here. Let us say there are 2 locations or 3 locations. Okay. And this is my data center. Branch location 1, branch location 2, branch location 3. My business is developing so much, I need to bring up one more branch number 4. The person who is working in the networks, they are aware that if I need to have this connectivity through the MPLS, for the same, I should have first order a router. I need to check all the capabilities and everything, and I need to ask for the circuit. So from the same ISP, if that ISP is not providing that particular MPLS link, okay, that specific ISP will coordinate with the local ISP of that particular location. And all of these things, believe me, took more than 60 plus days or very much, good time, I will say. To avoid such kind of things, what SD-WAN is doing now, SD-WAN is saying your underlying network can be anything. It can be MPLS if you want, but it can be internet also. And we are here to provide the security because whenever we say internet, okay, so when we think about internet, it means internet can introduce the threat or it can introduce the compliance issues because it is not secure. What Cisco is saying, security is my job. I will secure your network. Don't worry, you just put the internet connection, have the good bandwidth, because MPLS link, if you are just buying for 2 MB, it will be costing 100 MB of the internet. What I mean to say, if you are just buying 2 MB of MPLS, the price what you are providing, in the same price, probably you can get more than 100 MB of internet link. Okay, in the same pricing. So you can borrow a good bandwidth when you are using internet connection. And the challenge, what we are experiencing earlier about the security is getting resolved by Cisco. So if I will talk about SDN again, SDN is a big ship, that is software defined networking. In this SDN, towards the WAN, the name is SD-WAN. Towards the LAN, named is SD-Access. And towards the data center, Cisco solution is ACL. Okay. And we are talking about WAN perspective here in this demo, which is SD-WAN. So whole SDN, if I will gonna talk about the whole SDN topology, the complete SDN is doing what? The very first thing what it is doing, it is decoupling. Decoupling means it separates the forward plane, the control plane, or the management plane instantly. It means it is now allowing a centralized of your network intelligence. And this permits more network automation because on the management plane, now we can introduce some API calls, which I would be going to cover not to a very much extent, but I will be going to show you how controllers is interacting with your end devices. Okay. And automation can be introduced through your management plane. So now it is permitting you network automation. It is simplifying the operations, reducing the cost. Provisioning is easy, monitoring is easy, and troubleshooting is easy. Believe me, later on when I will show you, you will find that, okay, it's really awesome technology. Now, let's proceed. So, if I will talk about Cisco SD-WAN, when this solution come in the market, okay, now probably maybe 7-8 years before, they played on majorly 4 points. The very first point was increased bandwidth. They say they have increased bandwidth. What does it mean? It means, let us say you have a site. This is a site. In this site A, you are having 2 internet connectivity. Why I am saying internet? Because currently we are not paying for the MPLS when we have SDN technology. So let us say we have this ISP1, we have this ISP2. In earlier scenario, what we does, we make one of them as primary and we make one of them as secondary to avoid asymmetric routing. But when Cisco SD-WAN come, it says it doesn't require anything. You just activate your backup link, which is now idle. Okay, it's in the idle state earlier. So it make it as active and put something named as dynamic load balancing. I would be going to teach you that how throughout the network, maybe it can 100 sites, 500 sites, or n number of sites. You can just play that, okay, ISP1 is primary for such and such application, and ISP2 is primary link for such and such application. And this change, you will be going to push through the vManage, and it will be just get pushed on all of the sites automatically. You need not to go to the individual sites and configure these things. They are not required. So first point, what they were leading when this solution came is increase the bandwidth by activation of your idle backup link. Second point, where they were getting the lead, because I told you applications are moving towards the cloud. They are going for the IaaS or the SaaS as the service. So they just said, we are delivering direct internet access, because for cloud, you should have direct internet access at your branch site. So they are saying we are delivering or enabling direct internet access on individual sites. It means in our legacy network, our traffic should be moving to data center. Let us say this is site 1. This site should go to a local internet breakout for its data center, and from its data center, it's going out. But no more longer such a complex network configuration. What Cisco is saying, just have the DIA locally to your every individual site. It means it can go to the cloud directly, which means decreasing the latency, increasing the performance. And when you are increasing the performance, your users are happy. And when your users are happy, your business is increasing. So this is second point. They are taking the lead on to. Let us discuss about the third point. In the third point, what they talk, that we can reduce the cost. Ultimately, we are coming to the reducing of the cost only everywhere. Reducing the cost in what manner? Reducing the cost in the manner of operation and management. See, before some time I was talking about that SD-WAN decouples your all the planes. It means it is now managing your centralized management throughout of your network, which means through your vmanage. Okay, because vmanage is the controller which is managing the management control. Through your vmanage, you can push a change or you can manage the devices which can be on different sites. This site count can be 50, can be 100, can be 500, can be 1000, can be 5000, and number of sites can be there. Now you don't require individual teams to manage such an huge devices. You can push the upgrade from the vmanage. You can push the configuration through the vmanage. Even if new site need to get provisioned, there is some feature named as ZTP or PNP. Okay, zero touch provisioning or plug in play, that we will be gonna discuss about later on in our classes. That device automatically will pick the configuration and will come up. So you need not to do anything. It means they are saying we are reducing the business cost again by putting the operational and management teams lesser in this time. The fourth point, what they bring up in the market, and they said that, okay, what we can provide as a business, again, lowering the cost. Okay, but lowering the cost in what manner? Here, they are lowering the cost because earlier you were using the MPLS connectivity, but nowadays you can use internet also. It means that underlying terminology is no more, I would be saying, putting some impact on your devices. How? Let me just explain it in a very short form. Let us say this is your DC data center, and these are your data center routers. You are having the branch location 1, you are having the branch location 2. This is your branch location, very simple branch location. So we are putting only one routers there. Let us say you are purchasing the MPLS link for the same. There can be dual connectivity or the single connectivity depending upon your design. Let us say in our case, it is dual connectivity. So you need to do the routing. All the routes will go to the ISP1. ISP1 router will manage it and will forward to your data center. But obvious, it will be gonna happen within your VRF, virtual router forwarding. Those who are not aware about it, it's all right. I will be gonna explain about these terms later on in our classes, but it is really a basic fundamental which you should be aware of. Okay, that how VPN v4 works. But again, I will be going to explain about these terms in our classes. So you are handing over these routes to the ISP. Either you talk about ISP1, either you talk about ISP2. Okay, the functionality would be same in both of the scenarios. Nowadays, when you are implementing SD-WAN, SD-WAN is saying, I don't require MPLS. You can have the internet connectivity, and that is perfectly fine for me. Which means, let us say again, it is your data center. These are your branch locations. It is also your branch location. And you are just having the internet. Simple internet connectivity, nothing else. Okay. So this is branch 1, this is branch 2. Now, when such internet connectivity is there in our data center, or maybe I will say there would be a layer named as controllers. So there is something named as your controllers will reside. One controller I already talked about, that for the management we have vmanage. Similarly, there is one controller for the control management named as vsmart, and one more controller which is acting as a glue named as vbond. I would be gonna explain about them in very short span of time, but currently I'm just telling that there is a controller zone. And the routers which you are placing here, it can be from the Viptela, because as I told that it this is the Viptela solution earlier. It can be from the Viptela or some specific hardware from the Cisco. So these are the WAN edge devices. The one which is providing by Viptela, we are putting it as V for the Viptela, VH, and which is providing by the Cisco, we are putting C as the Cisco and we are putting as CH. So there can be VH or CH. Those are nothing, but you can say these are the traditional routers. These routers over the internet link will create some tunnels. Okay, it is bit like equivalent to your GRE tunnel if you remember your traditional routing. So let me tell you, SD-WAN is not the completely new solution. No. What SD-WAN does is SD-WAN pick up the very good functionalities of our traditional networking and produce in such a way that it is giving the high benefits in terms of those 4 points which I was explaining you before some time. So it creates a tunnel. It means the underlying terminology. It can be internet, it can be MPLS, it can be LTE, it can be any lease line or whatever. But obviously, you will not be gonna go for such a huge, cost transport. But underlying transport nowadays does not matter because you are creating the tunnels. But obvious, between the side to side, there is some tunnels which is named as IPsec. And believe me, you need not to do any of the configuration on it. You just need to append with IPsec keyword and everything will be gonna happen by itself. Between your branch location to the controllers, there is a tunnel named as DTLS, which will be gonna form. And again, it is automatic things. You need not to do anything by your own. Okay, maybe show you the lab that will make more, you can able to understand in good way. Just FYI, all of you who are enrolling in the class will get this lab. What you need to do, just start this, right click start, right click start, right click start. So this is the lab which is not configured at all. Nothing is configured into it. You need to configure it by your own. And using the lab, by putting your hands into the lab, or you can do a lot of practice. You can see that in this SD-WAN lab, we have the data center here. Okay, you can see the right hand side is the data center zone. There are some of the locations. Okay, this is your controller zone where all the controllers are putting. There is a root CS server also. What is root CS server? Probably you would be understanding when I would be gonna talk about the bring up process, like how these devices you need to bring up and how these devices should be the part of SD-WAN fabric. So everything is considered as the SD-WAN fabric. I hope you guys are aware about fabric. Yes or no, please. Otherwise, I would be giving you a quick introduction about the fabric. Anyone? Okay. So let us say you have a high-end switch. In this switch, you can have CPUs here. Okay, control plane CPUs. There can be your data plane layer. These are named as supervisors, soup engines. Okay, these are your simply your ASICs kind of thing. So what happened is all the networking in between these CPUs or the supervisors and your ASICs, okay, is in the background. There is some terminology. It can be bus topology. It can be very advanced terminology also. We are just saying this as a whole is creating switch fabric. This is a switch fabric. Similarly, if I will talk about SD-WAN, in SD-WAN, you have the controllers, you have the data center, you have the branches. Okay. All of them, let us say, connected with some of the internet service provider, or by some way they are connected with each other. Now, it will create a tunnel. It will create a tunnel. It will create a tunnel here. Tunnels would be here also. This whole stuff will act as a SD-WAN. And from your vManage, you can just interact with your data center devices, your branch devices, or your campus devices, wherever. So it will create your whole SD-WAN fabric. Let us say, now I have this Windows machine. Let me double click on the Windows machine. Okay. Let me make it a little bit bigger. Let me configure the IP address over here. I'm just taking the subnetting 2550, 2550 and 2, that is /24, maybe you can say. I hope, I am assuming that you guys are from networking and you are aware about these terms. If not, please somebody, if not, then you can tell. So what I did, I just gave an IP address in my PC. If I will check, either I am able to access this vManage 21110. I would not be, but let me check. HTTPS 21110. So it won't respond because that is not configured, but obvious. So first of the thing, I need to go to this switch or the router. Okay. I'm sorry, what happened? I'm going to this switch and everything is the part of VLAN 1, right? I'm just going to the configure terminal, interface VLAN 1, IP address 20.1.1, 255.255.255.255.0. Now, yep. And let me close this. We don't require anything over here. Let me go to the PC again. Okay. And I'm checking through the command prompt. I'm able to ping it. So default gateway is reachable now. The next point is I need to configure my vManage. So this is first time I am gonna configure my vManage. So this is the blank device. If you see, it is ready. I am saying admin and admin is the by default username and password. It is asking, okay, what new name what new password you need to put. You can put anything. I am just putting NetMinion for the simplicity so that I can able to recognize it. The very first thing it is saying that I have available 2 kind of storage. Which storage you want? But obvious, I wanted to go for 100 GB. I am just selecting one, putting enter. It is saying that, do you want to like to format it? I would say yes and put enter. It will take approximately 7 to 8 minutes and it will be gonna do a lot of things in the background and bring up our vManage device from the scratch. After that, we need to do some of the configuration, which I am explaining you, because those configurations are not like your Cisco configuration. Since these are the Viptela devices, okay, the controllers are the Viptela controllers. So I need to talk about how the configuration need to done. So let us say this is your controller. This is your vManage controller. Every Viptela device will be getting configured in one of 2 ways. One is the system specific configuration. What are those? I am just explaining in a moment. But the second configuration, what you need to do is with respect to the VPN specific, that is VPN 0 by default, which is acting as the transport VPN. I would be going to explain about the VPNs later on in our classes. But this VPN for now, you can say this is something which is providing you the connectivity throughout connectivity for your transport. So your devices need to be interact with each other, that you will be gonna do using VPN 0. Now let me talk about what all the basic configuration we need to do here in our case. So when I'm saying system, okay, as I told you, in any of the device, you will do system configuration or the VPN configuration. When I'm talking about system, in system, there are a couple of the configuration, like you need to provide system IP, bit like your router ID. You need to provide something named as site ID. Okay, this site ID helps that this device belongs to which site. Then you need to put what is your organization name. This organization name is very important. You will understand it when I would be going to talk about the certificate. Why certificate required, how authorization happens, how authentication happens. Then you understand that why this organization name is important. And in the system configuration, the one more thing, mandate thing we need to provide is about the vBond information. What the vBond is? vBond is a controller which is acting as a glue. It means that vBond controller any device when we need to bring up. Let us say this is the one of the device on the branch location 10 we are bringing up. It will go to the vBond first. vBond will tell that, okay, what is your vSmart? vSmart is for your routing. Okay, for your control management is your vManage. Okay, for your management perspective. So these two information will get from where? From the vBond. So in system information, we need to provide these things. In VPN 0, we will put the IP address. We will just tell, okay, what is the gateway. So those things we need to provide in the VPN 0. Let me just show you all of the things here. Our system is ready. I am just logging through the admin. Password, whatever your password is. In my case, the password is NetMinion. If I will go to the configure terminal, I cannot go to the interface directly. Here, I need to go to the system first. Let me go to the system and let me assign the system IP. So system IP. What is your system IP? Let us say your system IP is how it need to be designed, that I would be going to explain in the classes. Let us say it is 1.1.100.10. What is your site ID? Okay, the same thing I explained. I am doing the same thing. 100. What is your organization name? In my case, I am putting organization name as NetMinion. What is your vBond? vBond in my case is 211.2011.11. After doing this configuration, you need to save this using the commit command. Commit. Get out of the system configuration. Go to the VPN 0. Here, whatever interface you have, in our case, it is ETH0. Okay, this is Viptela device, so it is ETH0. I am providing IP addressing, that is 20.1.1.10/24. Now I need to do the no shut and see for the for your IPsec configuration, you need to just say tunnel interface and just allow the service. In this is a lab device, I am just saying allow all. Get out of it, exit, and now what you need to do? You need to provide the default gateway. You can just say, I am sorry, I am in ETH0. Get out of it, and I am saying IP route for my any of the network. You should go to 20.1.1.1. Again, commit this configuration, come out of it. If you need to check something, you can just say show run ETH0. It won't show. Why? Because it is the part of VPN 0. So you need to write down show run VPN 0 configuration. Out of VPN 0, probably you can just search for the ETH 0 or specific configuration. Similarly, if you wanted to check system-wise configuration, you just say show running config system, and it will give you the system-specific configuration. Okay, great. So after doing this same thing, you go here and can you see your device is popping up? Go and access it through the GUI. This is your blank version or the very first version of the device pop-up. Log in through the admin and NetMinion, and you can see that this Cisco vManage is coming up, which is an with initial configuration. Currently, there is nothing. If you see vSmart 0, vEdge 0, vBond 0, okay. There is one warning for your certificate, that is because your vManage has to be issued with a certificate that we would be gonna do later on. But you can see this dashboard. Okay, can you see this term, application aware routing? Very important. One of the main, I will say, functionality of SD-WAN, that depending upon your application suitability, it will change the internet link, maybe ISP1 or ISP2, whatever is less utilized, it can jump to the same. Okay, so this is your vManage which comes up. Okay, so I hope this slides provides you a great, information that why we required SD-WAN. If I will talk about this training, in this training we will be gonna talk in very detail. Either it is template, either it is policies, everything I would be gonna provide, which offers a wide range of benefits, and it contributes not to only your personal growth, but your professional growth also. With respect to your career advancement, it will increase your productivity, boost up your confidence, and opens the lot of networking opportunity in your career or in your like you can say in terms of monetization or in terms of your growth. So investing in the training is the continuous learning, open the continuous learning position for you, not for the short time, but for the long-term success also. Again, as a part of this training program, we would be giving you a cutting-edge lab terminology where you will be receiving the lab pod individually so that you can work over there as per your timing or as per your priors. We will provide you the recorded videos. Every session will get recorded and you will get it, which you can open through the laptop or through the apps on your mobile, howsoever. Any of the doubt session for 1 year, we are here to help you. For your interview question and answer, we provide you the support for the same. For your troubleshooting, we have some extra classes. So these all perks you will be receiving during this course. And in the last, I would like to say thank you everybody for joining it.